Thank you, Michelle. Thank you all, friends and family of the UNC. I asked Michelle what she drank down in Moruga before she came here tonight. Give us a round of applause, MP from Moruga, Tableland. Wake up the crowd. Thank you. And to Vandana Mohit, give her a round of applause. Thank you. We have powerful women in the UNC. Yes, say yes. Yes. Thank you all. And we have powerful men too. So give it up for Ravi Ratiram and for MP David Lee, who spoke here tonight. Let me say welcome to all of you. This hall is full and overflowing. Thank you for making the effort to be here with us for this special meeting. Thanks to all our loyal rank and file members, supporters, listening, viewing. I don't need that one? No. Okay. Thank you. Members of the UNC executive, MPs, senators, chairmen, mayors, councillors, all the men, all the corporations, members of the various executives, and all of you here, beautiful family of the UNC, thank you again and give yourselves some applause. I have some news to share with you tonight, some good news and some very bad news. So let's start with the bad news first. What do you think? We'll come down to the good news in a while. We saw Michelle speaking from her heart and from her belly, as we all do, when it concerns our children. There is nothing dearer and closer to us than children, whether it's our own children or someone else's children. And so we saw on the front pages, murder madness, which shocked the Prime Minister. Michelle, did anybody come and visit those families? Nobody has visited them. Nobody. So tonight I want to talk about another kind of madness, fuel madness. MP Ratiram spoke about the fuel. So let me just remind you, they have increased premium on leaded. Under us it was $5.75. Now it is $7.75. Super unleaded, under us $2.70. Under the P&M, $6.97. That is an increase of $4.27 per liter. Diesel, under my watch was $1.50. You know what it is now under this government? $4.91. Is that what the fishermen use? The diesel? Regular, sorry. You can't even get that to buy. So you have to buy one of these, all of which have increased. Kerosene from $1.50 to $4.40. Is that making any sense? Premium, $5.75 with us. Under the P&M, $7.75. Super unleaded under us, $2.70 to $6.97. Diesel under us, $1.50. Now under the P&M, $4.91. Kerosene, $1.50 under us. To what? $4.40. And as others have mentioned, a new budget is coming. So let's see if they're going to raise these prices again, because they really like these sprang-along people on the side of the road, raking and scraping every little cent that they can get. So if you spend $100 at a gas station in 2015 on the UNC, what would you get? What would you get? You would get 17.4 liters premium unleaded for that $100. Today under the P&M, you will get 12.9 liters. I see you blinking. It was 17.4 liters for $100 under us. Spend $100 today, you're getting 12.9 liters. 37 liters of super unleaded under us. Now you're getting 14.3 liters, from 37 to 14.3. For diesel, listen to this one. Under UNC, under the government I led, 66.66 liters of diesel you would get for the $100. You know what you're getting now? 20.4. From 66.66 liters of diesel under my government, today you'll get 20.4 liters. And for the kerosene, also 66.66 liters with $100. That has gone down now to 22.7 liters. Is that making any sense? Make that make sense. And then you complain about the cost of living. You want to know why? That is one of the reasons why. The comparison means that at the gas station, compared to under the UNC, for every $100 you spend, you now get 4.5 liters less of premium unleaded under the P&M. You now get 22 liters less of super unleaded under the P&M. You now get 46 liters less of diesel under the P&M. You now get 44 liters less of kerosene under the P&M. So premium gas that cost you $100 under the UNC will now cost $135 under the P&M, an increase of $35. Super gas that cost you $100 under the UNC will now cost you $258 under the P&M. $258. Diesel, which cost you $100 under the UNC, will now cost you $327 under the P&M. Kerosene, which cost you $100 under the UNC, now cost you $293 under the P&M. Everything has increased. We talk about fuel madness, there's also food price madness. Food price madness. What happens when fuel prices go up? Everything else goes up. Everything, transport costs go up, and therefore everything else goes up. So food prices go up. Let's look at these prices. I've chosen 11 items. And these prices I'm going to share with you tonight, they are not mine. They come off the ministry website. They have a book that they put up all the time of food prices. It's on the ministry's website. So let's compare them. 11 basic food items. Flour, 2 kilograms, was $12.99 under my watch. Do you know how much it is now? $18.49. Flour, 2 kilograms, from $12.99 under the yellow to $18.49 under the red. We're in a red zone, a war zone, as Michelle told us. Rice, 2 kilograms, was $19.99. Now under the P&M, $28.99. Margarine was $7.99 under my watch. Has now gone to $15.75. Curry was $6.99 under my watch. Now gone to $11.99. Corned beef of $14 on our watch is now $26.95. Sugar, 1,800 grams. 1,800 grams was $15.99 under my watch. Now gone to $26.95. Not finished. Full cream milk, $9.99 is now $18.99. Sardines was $5.99, now gone to $13.95. Aloo, $2.50 under my watch to $5.95. Garlic, $10 under my watch to $15 under this government. Onion, from $2.50 to $5.95. These 11 items under the UNC would have cost you $109. When you add them up, $109. Now under the P&M, the same basket of items would cost you $189. You see why when you go to the grocery you're crying? You pick up things and you put them back down. You know why? Because of this wicked, incompetent, waste of time government on the rolling. Wicked. So we have an increase of $80, 73% for this basket of goods. As I said, I just selected 11 items. We could look at others. It's all there to see. You go up on the World Wide Web on the Ministry of Trade's website, and it is there. So these are the facts.
There are many in this country whose accounts
the PNM has made you cashless. Rowley, no, what is it, Imbert? They say we had to go cashless, but you're already cashless. There's no money. People don't have money. We are already cashless. Super gas is up by 158%. Diesel is up by 227%. Basic food basket that I just read for you is up by 73%. And what does the government do? They want to give you 4% salary increase when everything else has gone sky high. We have to make that make sense. Make it make sense, Rowley. Make it make sense. They're talking about a cashless society. I say tonight on behalf of the UNC, we say no to removing cash. We say no. No cashless society. A cashless society means a place where the bank owns your money. The bank owns your money, and let's talk about that. A cashless society is one where the government can block you from taking out your own money, understand it, as a form of punishment or retaliation. There is no freedom there. A cashless society, as I say, the bank owns your money, you don't. The bank determines which day you could come and pull money out of your account. The bank could close down for a week, and where you getting money? Where would you get money? The bank can seize your account with instructions from the government. And you will have no access to any money. You know, this happened to the truckers in Canada. In Canada, there was a strike in Canada, and the government seized all the accounts of the truckers who were on strike. So this is a very dangerous something. It sounds simple, oh yes, be cashless, so the bandits wouldn't come and rob and they wouldn't get the cash. It is a very dangerous place to go down, especially when we have now a dictator government in office. We cannot take that chance. And if they don't like Wayne Mark, which we know they don't, poor fella, the few cents they have in the bank, they could block it. They could block it. They could give an instruction and block it. So it is too dangerous. Cash is freedom. Cash is independence from control by the state. You will have no privacy in a cashless society. Your private information will be at risk of hacking. What if a natural disaster hits and we have no electricity for a few weeks? How are you getting money? That's one aspect of it. That is your freedom to use your money when and where you want, once you do it in a legal manner. That's one side, but the other side is this. Every transaction you make with a card carries what? A cost, a fee. For the card company, a transaction fee. For the card company and the bank. This card fee is an unseen tax. You don't see it. So when you go to buy that rice or that flour or the baby milk, you're paying an extra amount when you are cashless because you have to pay for the card fee. You will not have to pay this fee if you brought in your cash. Every purchase you make in a cashless society will incur a fee. You would not have to pay it if you were to use your cash. So why should you pay the bank a fee every time you want to use your own money? Why? Why? Make that make sense, Mr. Imbert. Make it make sense. Every time you want to buy something is your own money. You have to pay to use your money now. That's where we will go. You're paying to use your own money, understand it? Do not be fooled into giving up your freedoms. The hybrid system we have now with the digital currency and cash is the best option at this time. People must have a right to choose how they save their money and what their payment method is. I want to remind you of something Rowley said. You know, he says many foolish things. But in this context of what we are talking, remember what Mr. Rowley said. He talked about using the money in people's private bank accounts. So the UNC says tonight, no to cashless society. Let people keep their money and spend it how they want and where they want. I want to share another piece of bad news with you. I said the bad news first. We're getting there, don't worry. You'll get the good news before you leave. I want to talk about one of the Prime Minister's best friend, a bestie. Rowley's best friend, bestie. And that person is in trouble. Alan Warner, that's the man, Alan Warner, found himself before the court for illegal mining. And let me share with you parts of a Newsday article from Sunday, August 25th, yesterday's Newsday. The High Court freezes Warner's assets in quarrying probe. High Court freezes Warner's assets in quarrying probe from the Newsday, and I quote from it. A criminal investigation into allegations of illegal quarrying and processing aggregate without a mining license has taken a dramatic turn as the police have obtained restraint orders under the Proceeds of Crime Act to freeze the assets of two companies of the Warner Group. The article continues, even as Warner was before the court on a criminal charge, this man before the courthouse on a criminal charge, guess what happened? The Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries granted his other son, Kian Warner, a quarry license, a temporary mining operating license on June 18th, a processing license to extract material from 16.66 hectares of state lands at Moonan Road, Agua Santa, Wallerfield. The article continues. And listen to this. The application for the license was made on June 5th, more than a month after the police had shut down the mining plant. They had shut down the plant and they granted this license on June 5th. The question I have is this. How does Kian Warner, son of Alan Warner, and according to Mr. Farley, Rowley's godson, how could he get a mining license in 13 days? 13 days. Have you ever heard of any company getting a mining license in 13 days? This is his bestie's son. And according to Mr. Farley, tells us that this Kian is Rowley's godson. I don't know, let him own him or disown him. He's a man disowned many sons in the past. So, let him own his godson or disown him, I don't know. That's for him to tell us, but that's what we are saying. How did you get this license in 13 days, man? Then remember this. This Mr. Warner. Not our Jack Warner, this is Alan Warner. Get that clear. Remember, this man got an FUL permit. The same day the Prime Minister messaged former Commissioner of Police Griffith. That was all over the newspaper. Prime Minister Rowley messages Commissioner of Police then, Griffith, to get an FUL permit for Mr. Warner. The Prime Minister messaged it in the morning. Yeah, that's you know. In the morning, he messaged former cop Gary Griffith. And Mr. Griffith signed it and sent it off to Rowley to deliver to his best friend by the evening of the same day. Is that making any sense? This government is only for itself, its friends and its financiers. They do not care about any of you or your children. In one day, they organized the FUL permit while people are waiting for years to get a permit. In one day. One day. Now we see a mining license approved in 13 days. Did a high official message someone to grant this license? This mining license reeks of corruption. I have instructed our lawyers to file an FOIA to request documentation and find out the process undertaken to grant this license in 13 days. That's a mining license. I have also instructed our lawyers to write a formal complaint to the DPP and to the White Collar Crime Unit of the TTPS, requesting an investigation into the granting of this license in 13 days. Story doesn't end here with Mr. Rowley's bestie, you know. I remember when he was up and down this country, when we were in government, lambasting people, saying the worst things they could, all the lies they made up. But these are not lies. These are the facts with Mr. Warner, his bestie. A couple of weeks ago, Dr. Monilal also spoke of the dredging of the Sealots Basin, and asked if this was done to benefit the Prime Minister's bestie, Alan Warner. Because Mr. Warner has a compound with a stockpile, a pier, an asphalt plant that is serviced with barges and tugs coming into the Sealots turning basin. Interestingly, this is also the compound from which Warner Construction was shipping aggregates out of Trinidad and were produced at the wash plant that was seized by the police. So they're bringing it in and bringing it in here into Sealots. There's an article of Warner's compound, if my staff can find it. It's there. Look at this Sealots Basin. Look at the photo of Warner's compound there. Then there's a story. Sealots Basin restored after 15 years in the Trinidad Express business section. Sealots Basin restored after 15 years. National Energy's President, Dr. Vernon Paltu, expressed his satisfaction with the management of the project, saying, "We are pleased to have restored the Sealots Channel and turning basin." You see, after 15 years. After 15 years, the Ministry of Energy suddenly became energized, visiting rigs at rig, as you told me, touring the rig, decided to dredge that area after 15 years. Why? Is it because Alan Warner bought a compound there in 2021? Is this why they decided after 15 years to dredge that area? Was it dredged to allow larger barges and tugboats or boats involved in bunkering to access Warner's compound? The man seems to have a lot of luck, this Mr. Warner, with the Ministry of Energy. I have again instructed our lawyers to file a Freedom of Information on the National Energy Corporation, requesting documents for this dredging, including the costs of that dredging, and to also show it as the bathymetric surveys, that's the depth down of the seabed, and the Sealots Basin before dredging and after dredging. These surveys will show what works were done to benefit Warner Construction. This government cannot dredge the mouths of our major rivers to prevent flooding. They can't dredge a simple canal to prevent flooding. Still, they can find millions to dredge the Sealots turning basin to benefit the Prime Minister's bestie. So we raised that, and we will continue to raise those questions. Let me take you back to this famous coat of arms story. Okay? Coat of arms. Last week, after they came with this nonsense talk, I warned us all not to be distracted by their gimmicks. I asked no one in the country not to fall for his deliberate distractions. And not really, many people did not. Not many people went off the railway because too many murders, prices increasing, cost of living increasing, and so on. So tonight I want to say, Mr. Rowley, rather than being obsessed with creating distractions by changing the coat of arms, I say, government, you would better serve the people by focusing on the boats of arms and ammunition coming into our ports every day. Focus on those, the arms, the boats with the arms and the ammunition, the illegal drugs coming into our country. You would better serve us. They come in freely and is part of the cause of the increase in crime. So, the best bringing it. Which one of them? Don't worry about the cost of the coat of arms. Worry about the illegal boat of arms coming from South America. Worry about the illegal boats of arms coming to our ports. Worry about the illegal boat of arms that is fueling the murders and home invasions in our country. So take yourself off and ship yourself off. Ship off. Michelle, I think Vandana talked to us about that. Jump on one of those ships and just disappear. Focus now on the unprecedented crime wave, brutal, sadistic crime that has overtaken us. Another Newsday article, this is close to me, this is in my constituency. Newsday article, penal couple beaten by 12 home invaders. 12! A couple had to seek medical treatment after they were beaten by 12 attackers who invaded their penal home on the evening of August 24th. The 25-year-old woman told the officers she locked up at around 5:30 p.m. She went to her bedroom with her 33-year-old husband and 2 children when 12 men broke into the house using a pickaxe to break through a wall near the spare bedroom. The story continues. The attackers immediately began beating the couple, injuring their heads, their faces, and lower bodies before taking a cell phone and $1,000. Now look, we are in August. We're 8 months into the year 2024. And already the murder rate, as Michelle mentioned, as of yesterday is over 400 in Trinidad and Tobago. Over 400. You know, we get numb with the statistics and we don't see these 400. It's people, you know. It's you and me and your brother and your sister, your mother, your father, your grandma, your tanty, your nene, whoever. It's a real human being. But when we just read the numbers, we become numb, and you keep reading these numbers day after day after day. When will it stop? It will only stop when we vote out this wicked, incompetent government. Vote them out. We have to vote them out. No rest for the wicked. No rest for the wicked. Every national security minister the PNM has appointed in the last 9 years, everyone has failed. Every commissioner appointed by PNM in the last 9 years, every commissioner of police has failed. Don't get fooled. Because if in 9 years is over 4,000, and over 4,000 murders, it means every commissioner failed. Every national security minister failed. The only things that caused a slowdown in the crime was COVID-19, and because of the lockdowns. During COVID, we saw a two-tier policing. 2 levels of policing, where the eater food fake elites, friends of the government, they were allowed by the police to have pool parties and weddings. Did you all know that? They could have pool party and wedding, big wedding, endless cars park up there, not a policeman come to do anything. Instead, what were they doing? The average citizens were harassed, terrorized, fined, ticketed for being in their private cars with family members, or if they were having a family get-together in their own homes. The government and the police used COVID lockdowns to suppress dissent and protests, but they allowed their high friends and family and financiers to have these events. For the last 9 years, there has been an out-of-control crime spree because they have no plan, they have no policy. All they have is arrogance, and what else? Interference in all the independent institutions of our country. Every single one. Tonight I'll talk about their interference in the selection of a commissioner of police, resulting in a demoralized police force. First, they bypassed the top 3 selections. 1, Dulalshan, 2, Phillips, and 3, Williams, to handpick the 4th ranked person, Gary Griffith. That's the first thing they did. During Griffith's time, we had in 2018, 523 murders. 2019, 539 murders. 2020, COVID, many months of lockdowns, 396. 2021, 448 murders. So there were 1,906 murders spanning the years 2018 to 2021 under Commissioner of Police Griffith. And I'm raising these things because we mustn't get carried and fooled. Don't be fooled. The PNM interfered. They bypassed the 3 top rank and they put the 4th rank person in the office of Commissioner of Police. And they didn't stop there. They interfered again to intercept the merit list to kick out Griffith. So first they interfered and bypassed 3 to put him. And then they came and interfered again, going up to President House and grabbing the list from the lady hand to kick out Griffith. Then they handpicked McDonald Jacob. When they kick out Griffith, McDonald Jacob. 2022, 613 murders. After that, they chose Commissioner of Police Earler. 2023, 577 murders. 8 months into 24, over 400. We have had almost 4,500 murders under this government since they came into the office. Over 4,500. The nation under the PNM is like a war zone, where chaos, destruction, brutality, sick, violent torture reigns. The country is in a state of anarchy. Citizens are terrified and living in their self-imposed states of emergency. And so, in Trinidad and Tobago, under the failed National Security Minister Hines, under the failed commissioners of police that we have had during their watch, crime is rampant. 1 person is murdered every 14 hours, about every 14 hours. So when you left home, to come up here, to sit here, by the time you get home, 1 more person murdered, on average. 50 murders are the monthly average. 1 person is reported missing every 12 hours. Brutal home invasions, citizens are beaten and tortured every day. Robberies, rapes, wounding and shootings have besieged the nation. Kidnappings for ransom have restarted. Extortion of business people by criminal gangs is out of control, leading to murders. Crime, criminality, gang warfare have now created a new type of tourism in our country. Senator Naked will know about this well. A new kind of tourism. You know what's happening? Foreign YouTube influencers. They come to exploit the suffering of our crime situation to create likes and views. A new kind of tourism. They put it up on their YouTube and so on. But what is it? It's a crime situation that they are broadcasting and showcasing. Highlighting, yes. People are being terrorized and driven out of their communities. And I say, can we live another 5 years under this wicked, incompetent government? We cannot do it. We cannot do it. And let me recognize the 2 powerful women who are chairing our meeting. Councillor Sandra John and Alderman Marissa Rablogan. The UNC has a lot of powerful women. I say it again, and we have a lot of powerful men as well. So give your hands up for all the UNC fighters and activists. I come to the good news now. And I want to share with you some of our plans when you put us back into office. And I have here in my hand a draft manifesto for the UNC. So if you think we were enjoying our time in the last several months we were working, this is the first draft. Many of you have contributed to this because remember we had the budget consultations and we got a lot of ideas and suggestions, so we put that in here, incorporated some of it. We will eventually roll this out online and all of you will have sight. So working draft that we have for the time being. So we are up in front. The UNC is ready for this election whenever it is called. Whenever it is called, we will be ready. Here are some plans that we have now for the criminal justice system. So yes, we have to fight the crime, but we know that the criminal justice system is in shambles. So here are some of our plans. The crime situation out of control, because the criminal and civil justice system is in a mess. We have to fix it. That is why I had proposed in the last government, and we will do it again, to have a separate Ministry of Justice. Separate ministry because the justice system is broken and needs to be fixed. We have to have a ministry targeting only that justice system. So UNC government will, 1, undertake a comprehensive review of all criminal laws to weed out obsolete laws that are oppressive to a free democratic society or that cause unnecessary bureaucracy. 2, categorize the offenses of murder and rape into first-degree and second-degree murder. 3, introduce a constitutional right of an accused to have a trial within a reasonable time. Within a reasonable time. You might have innocent people behind bars, waiting for years. Some will die before they even get a fair trial. So right to have a trial within a reasonable time. 4, place victims at the center of the criminal justice system from the beginning. Put victims at the center of the justice system from the beginning. How do we do that? Provide support for victims, including restitution, job placements, housing, and social programs. Due to the current low detection and conviction rate, we must give that support whether we catch the criminal who caused the injury or not. That victim must be given support. 5, provide the needed resources to ensure that cases involving offenses against children and sexual offenses are determined rapidly. 6, raise the legal age for marijuana use and gambling to 25 years. Increase the number of functional courtrooms. Right now, there is a deficit. Each judge of the High Court must have a designated courtroom to ensure they can sit every day. If you don't have enough courtrooms, then what's justice delayed is? Justice denied. 8, provide more courtrooms in highly populated areas outside the capital, such as Chaguanas, Rio Claro, Sandy Grande, and Diego Martin. 10, create smaller detention centers around the country to break up gang activity and ensure closer family support to prisoners by enabling regular visitation rights. We will also ensure, item 11, that incarcerated persons are allowed frequent visitation rights from their children. Keep them sane. Rehabilitate them. 12, establish low security prisons for first-time non-violent offenders who can get work release during the day. 13, modernize prisons and break up large prisons into smaller ones where inmates can be better monitored. 14, utilize intelligence services for crime fighting and not for spying on your political opponents. 15, implement appropriate social programs involving training and life skills to prevent repeat offenders. 16, comprehensively reform and reorient the education system to cater to all children, not just those who are academically inclined. And this came up on more than one occasion in the last budget consideration I did in Siparia. Not just the academically gifted ones. We must also be able to give those who might have a skill, a trade, learn a trade, a skill. Because not everybody is at O-level and A-level and university track. In fact, now you have university degrees and you can't even get a job. If you have a skill or trade, the chances are greater. We must identify young persons with learning disabilities or vulnerabilities so that they can be guided to become productive human beings. Most criminals have not been successful in the education system. 17, encourage the participation of NGOs and service organizations in mentoring youth. Man, I could tell that to the man who wants to be in charge of the youths. Let's get the service organizations, they're willing, the NGOs, the faith-based organizations to help us in mentoring youth. We must target and mentor at-risk youth. That is vital to prevent young persons from falling under the influence of gang leaders and falling through the cracks. 18, support single parents, including after-school care, to ensure children are supervised. You remember under my watch, we had homework centers across the country. They disappeared too. Everything under this government was good has disappeared. Homework centers shall be reintroduced nationwide when the UNC forms the government. Now, there's a lot of demoralizing in the police service for many, many reasons. One is where, the policemen don't feel that they are valued enough, they're not treated as they should be. You handpick people and you interfere in the processes for promotion and so on. But I think we should consider introducing a system of monetary rewards for police officers and divisionals where crime is kept low and crime-fighting targets are met. We have to motivate them. As it is, whether you're a good or bad one, it doesn't matter. You get the same money. So to work like incentivize them with monetary rewards, something to be considered. 20, invest resources in the DPP's office and ensure better conditions and salaries so staff are encouraged to stay at the DPP's office. These are just 20 points on the criminal justice system coming out of our draft manifesto, and this is only part one of the plans we have to deal with the criminal justice system and thereby help in dealing with crime. And so the UNC promises further from our manifesto. We have already, as I said, written this official manifesto. This is the first copy. We intend to unveil it online later, but tonight I'll just share some of it, a snapshot, which I've already done with respect to crime and criminality, some few policies that we will implement. Throughout this year, I have presented over 100 policies to rescue our nation from the destruction it has endured under this government. Let me remind you of a few people-centered policies to bring our country and citizens to economic stability and peace under a UNC government. 1, easy access to legal firearms for law-abiding citizens, and the lawful right to defend yourself and your family in your homes. Your home is your castle. We will ensure that we put in stand your ground law so you can have a fighting chance against these brutal, murderous criminals. Introduce home invasion laws, lower fuel prices, consider the reopening of the Petrotrin refinery, no VAT on 7,000 food items. We did it once, we will do it again. We did it once, we did not bankrupt the country, we will do it again. We had promised, and I promise it again, this is very close to my heart because I'm into education, as many of us are. Free laptops for all secondary school children. And free tablets for the primary school children. Free universal kindergarten education. Place police officers to patrol inside schools to protect your children. We are not just seeing bullying in our schools, we are seeing also violent crime. And when you send your child to school, I'm sure all day you're praying that at the end of that school day, your child will be safe. We will reopen the gate. We will reopen the gate. We will lower foreign used car prices by going back to an age of 6 years instead of the current 3 years. That's what it was, 6 years. So many persons were able to own a car in our country. But they drop it down to 3 years, you have to pay more. Yes, can't afford. We will have a comprehensive review of the demerit system. We will have a comprehensive review of the demerit system and a halt to the oppressive and abusive ticketing of motorists. We will implement economic transformation plans with growth poles across the country. We are expanding the Children's Life Fund to cover more illnesses. That's what we will do. We will construct the San Fernando to Mayaro Highway. We will begin the construction of that highway. We will be paving our roads between 2010 and 2015. We had the most extensive road repair program in our history. We will do it again. We will do it again. I'm down to plan number 17 and still counting. These are only some of the plans that I'm sharing with you. We will implement a comprehensive traffic alleviation plan. A comprehensive traffic alleviation plan. You spend too many hours in traffic. Too many hours, too many hours, too many hours. By the time you reach to work, you're tired. Then you have to leave home before daylight. Yes? And when you're coming home, you take so long, you're reaching home after daylight. What is your family life for your spouse and your children? They just spent on the road. So that is something we really have to deal with, traffic alleviation. We will promise you again, water for all. Water for all. We will create 50,000 new jobs without a single new tax. In fact, we will move to lower taxes. We are against the introduction of any new tax, against it. We will go back and strengthen the procurement laws which the PNM gutted. We will strengthen it. And we will not increase water and electricity rates in this economic climate. We still insist no to the property tax. We say no. We promise. We have been meeting with several trade unions. And one of the things they all agree, and the UNC agrees with, that workers must get a livable payment, livable wages for workers. So we will have a workers' agenda. We do not support the PNM's 4% offer. We call on the government to rescind that, give it up, and offer a higher increase. 27, make quality housing more affordable and more accessible to young people. We will deregulate the financial system to make it easier for citizens to access financial services and loans. 28, we will make quality housing more affordable and more accessible to young people. 29, yes, we used to give out 100 a week, 100 houses. I don't think they've built a single house, so this government hasn't built any house. All them houses they pretended to give, they were built under my watch. They were built by the UNC. They have built nothing. They have built no schools. They have built no hospitals. Everyone, they're going to turn the key and cut ribbon. They built nothing, and they will build nothing in their 10 years in office. They will build nothing. We will conduct a comprehensive and complete audit of HEC applications. We'll seek to make contact and see all who still need housing. We will prioritize those with long-standing applications, because some people have applied 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, some dead and gone, and the application has not been considered. Item 30 in our plans, we will again implement our land for the landless policy. Land for the landless. Why did they cut that program? Wicked, incompetent. Why? Not everyone might be able to come and get an HDC house, but they get a piece of land, they'll start up with a 2x4, and that grows over the years. It becomes a 10 by 10 or 10 by 20 as the case may be. And you have a place to rest your head. You know. Did you agree with him? Ramraji, did you agree with him? Okay, let's move along. Let's move along. As I close, I've been rolling out some of our plans and policies as we go forward. There's one warning I want to give you before I close, and it is this. Don't get distracted with Rowley and his foolishness. That's one. But the second one is, UNC people, have belly. Stand up for yourself. Don't get browbeaten. Don't back down. Many times it is the UNC people swallowing hook, line, and sinker the PNM narrative and repeating the nonsense. You must believe in yourself. That UNC, you're proud and you're strong, you're resilient, and you will persevere and you will win. So, put some steel in your backbone, because this fight will not be easy. They will come with their bag of tricks. They'll come with their gimmicks and their lies. And they will come to damage everybody. They are the best people at character assassination, you know. Like they're just born to lie about people, make up things about people. So don't get weak and faint-hearted when they come to talk about Madam A and Madam B and Mr. X and Mr. Y. We back out. They don't back out, you know. They will lie every single day on every single point. And they will never admit they lied. Never. So, I'm just warning you, please. It is too important. Michelle, all the other speakers, this is the mother of all elections for us in this country. And this is not a time to get weak and weary and faint-hearted. Now is to step up and step up and step up and step up and win. Are you ready to win? So you must never become complacent. Tonight I ask you to commit to coming out in your hundreds of thousands to cast your votes. Every single vote counts. We need you. We need your strength. We need your resilience and a committed effort. Take a stance to protect your loved ones. Stand your ground. Don't let the PNM frighten you, because that's what they're coming to do. Don't let the PNM make you back out. Don't let that ever happen. Don't take God out of your thoughts and let the PNM fool you again. You say, fool me once is my fault. Fool me twice is whose fault. And you fool me a third time. Oh, that must never happen again. It must never happen again. So you have to stay strong. Because nobody else will do it for you, UNC. UNC has to keep, as I say, steel in your back. And you must have a heart full of love for everyone. So brace yourself. Take a stand, as I say, to protect your loved ones. And to stand your ground, please. And I tell you tonight again, you have had leaders before me. You will have leaders after me. But you will never ever have a leader who loves you as much as I do. God bless you, and I thank you very much.